Surfer nearly swallowed by humpback whale. County proposes charging inmates $143 per day of jail sentence. Unable to pay bill, Michigan City turns off lights. 83-year-old man charged as male prostitute. These stories are weird. Many of these people are failures, but only the truly great become epic fail news. Judge blocks graphic images on cigarette packages. A judge on Monday blocked a federal requirement that would begin forcing tobacco companies next year to put graphic images including dead and deceased smokers on their cigarette packages. U.S. District Richard Leon ruled that it's likely the cigarette makers will succeed in a lawsuit to block the new standard. He stopped the requirement until a lawsuit is resolved, which could take years. A similar case brought by the tobacco companies against the labels is pending before the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals in Cincinnati. U.S. District Judge Joseph McKinley upheld most of the marketing restrictions in the law in 2010. The appeals court heard arguments in the case in July, but is not expected to rule for several months. Leon found the 9 graphic images provided by the Food and Drug Administration in July go beyond conveying the facts about the health risk of smoking, or go beyond that in the advocacy, a critical distinction in a case over free speech. The packaging would have included color images of a man exhaling cigarette smoke through a tracheotomy hole in his throat, a plume of cigarette smoke enveloping an infant receiving a mother's kiss, a pair of diseased lungs next to a pair of healthy lungs, a diseased mouth affected with what appears to be a cancerous lesion, a man breathing into an oxygen mask, a cadaver on a table with a post-autopsy chest staples, a woman weeping, a premature baby in an incubator, and a man wearing a t-shirt that features a no smoking symbol and the words "I quit." It is abundantly clear from the viewing of these images that the emotional response they were crafted to induce is calculated to provoke the viewer to quit or never to start smoking. An objective wholly apart from the disseminating purely factual and uncontroversial information Leon wrote in his 29-page opinion. He pointed out that at least some of them were altered photos to evoke emotion. The judge also pointed out the size of the labels suggests they are unconstitutional. The FDA requirement said the labels were to cover the entire top half of the cigarette pack, front and back, and include a number for a stop smoking hotline. The labels were to constitute 20% of the cigarette advertising, and marketing were to rotate use of the images. Leon said the labels would amount to a mini billboard for the agency's obvious anti-smoking agenda. The Justice Department argued the images, coupled with written warnings, were designed to communicate the dangers to youngsters and adults. The FDA declined to comment on the judge's ruling, and a spokesman for the Justice Department would not say whether it plans to appeal, only that it is reviewing the ruling. Matthew Myers, president of the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, urged the Obama administration to appeal the ruling. He said, it is wrong on science and wrong on the law. He said a delay would only serve the financial interests of the tobacco companies that spend billions to downplay the risks of smoking and glamorize tobacco use. Studies around the world and evidence presented to the FDA have repeatedly shown that large graphic warnings like those adopted by the FDA are the most effective at informing customers about the health risks of smoking, discouraging children and other non-smokers from starting to smoke, and motivating smokers to quit. Myers said in a statement, because of that evidence, at least 43 other companies now require large graphic cigarette warnings. Congress instructed the FDA to require the labels, following the lead of the Canadian regulators that require similar graphics on cigarette packs. Lawmakers approved the measure with wide bipartisan majorities and support of Senator Frank Lautenberg, Democrat, New Jersey, also urged appeal. Big Tobacco will stop at nothing to keep the cold, hard facts off the cigarette packages, he said in a statement. The cigarette makers say their products have had Surgeon General warnings for more than 45 years, but that it never failed a legal challenge against them until these images were approved. Tobacco companies are increasingly relying on their packaging to build brand loyalty and grab customers. It's one of the few advertising levers left to them after the government curbed the presence in magazines, billboards, and TV. And the graphic labels could cost them millions in sales and increase packaging costs. The cigarette makers that sued the FDA are R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, MC Lawyer Tobacco Company of Greensboro, North Carolina, Commonwealth Brands Incorporated of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Liggett Group of Melbourne, North Carolina, and Santa Fe Natural Tobacco Company of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Today's ruling reaffirms First Amendment principles by rejecting the notion that the government may require those who sell lawful products to adults to urge current and prospective purchasers not to purchase their products, lawyer attorney Floyd Abrams said in a statement. I think it's a great idea. In fact, I think we should go beyond this and start with other products. Could you imagine Deep Gashes Knives Company, hunting accident rifles, and Lefty brand firecrackers? Find me on the web at justplainphillip.blogspot.com. Follow my Twitter feed at twitter.com/plainphillip. Show me some love and click that like button. Post a comment, subscribe to my channel, or just send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and God bless.